This is Pete
And Rob.
and we're doing another Game of Thrones review, episode 30.
Finally.
What's it called? Mhysa?
Mhysa.
Mhysa.
M-H-Y-S-A.
Yeah. It's episode 30, the season finale.
Does my face look fat?
I
mean, my face is fat.
Yeah, but I think it's less fat than last time we did. Yeah, this has been a long time since we've done this.
It's been a long time.
And we're going to finish it off because I don't quit. Because the gloves don't
Even
fit.
if it takes a long time.
Yeah, even if it takes a long time, I'm going to finish it. Anyway, so let's get into it, Rob. Great episode, I thought.
Nice wrap up. They do a good job of,
wrapping up.
Yeah, episode 9,
giving you
punching you in the gut, and then episode 10 usually wraps everything up for you, and then sets up next season with everything, too.
And leaves you wanting more.
Yeah, they do a good job of that.
So, in the beginning of the episode, we see Roose Bolton.
Yeah.
He's walking on the top of the twins, looking down as all the carnage is happening from the Red Wedding.
All the fallout,
and
all the guys at the end.
And the symbolic burning of the Stark banners is happening and everything. And he's just looking down. And so we head down onto the ground level where the Hound and Arya are escaping.
Yeah.
And Arya ends up seeing Rob's body, which they only describe in the books.
Yeah.
But you fucking see it, and it's fucked up.
It's pretty fucked.
They cut off Rob's head. And they attach Grey Wind's head to it, his direwolf.
Yeah, they cut off the direwolf's head.
And they sew it on. It's fucking crazy. And they actually sew it, which I did not think they were gonna do, but nice job on doing that.
Yeah, it was cool.
That just shows you how fucked up the Freys are and everything.
I like that because it drives home the point of how fucked up they are.
And how fuck Rob ended up getting at the end there. So
and it adds to the layer of disrespect.
Yeah.
Adding on the whole fact that they did the unspeakable by slaying a house guest.
Yeah,
and then just adding more just shit, piling on dishonorable garbage you can do to somebody.
It's just some messed up shit.
Yeah.
So we head to King's Landing where Tyrion and Sansa are basically talking on how they are both disgraced as
parts of their family.
Yeah, she's the daughter of a traitor and he's just a dwarf. Yeah, and so they were bitching and moaning.
Yeah.
About how they're disgraced, and Sansa came up with a way because Tyrion's like, maybe I'll just put them on my list, and she's like, oh, what list is that? Oh, it's just an imaginary list I have of people that slighted me that I'm going to destroy.
I'm gonna get that guy.
And she's like, oh, we should put Poopy in their bed, yay! And he's like, what?
It really drives home the point that she's a teenager.
Oh,
he's just like, that's what we'll do.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
We'll sew shit into
Poopy.
The sheets or whatever.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, that's what I used to do at King's Land or at Winterfell when there were people bothering me. And it's like, no.
And ironically, I think this is the nicest that Sansa ever is to Tyrion.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're talking about getting back at people with shit.
Yeah. So then someone tells Tyrion that the small council is coming into court or whatever.
They got news.
Because they got big news, and they get there, and Cersei's all Tyrion gets in there, and Cersei's all smiling, and Joffrey's ecstatic as shit.
Joffrey almost has a face boner.
Yeah, and Tywin's just like
If your face can have an erection, Joffrey's had an erection.
Yeah.
Like a throbbing, pre-cum dripping erection.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
He was happy.
And Tywin had stone face, and Tyrion and Varys was there, and I want to say Littlefinger was also there.
I think so. I think pretty much everybody. Pycelle. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they sit down, and Tyrion sits down, and Tywin just basically says, the Starks. Well, no, I think Joffrey just comes out like,
he blurts it out. Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, who's dead? And he's like, Rob's
dead. He hears
dead.
about the Red Wedding.
Yeah, so they hear about the Red Wedding. And
how it happened.
And how crazy it was. And then eventually, Joffrey has a fit. And a fucking little shit fit. And,
because he pulls one of his classics I want his head sent down here. I want to make... He threatens to serve it to Sansa at his wedding. Because he's fucked in the head.
Yeah, he's fucking crazy.
That's what brother sister fucking gets you.
Yeah, so Tywin's like, no, you're not going to do that. He's like, send the king to bed. Send that fucking king to bed.
Yeah.
And
treats like a goddamn
and Joffrey's like, oh, I'm the king, I'm not going to bed. And then he's like, Cersei, get your fucking kid to go to bed right now.
Stuff.
And then he's like, he's like, I'm the king. And he's like, get the hell out of here. Get the F out of here. So everyone leaves besides Tyrion. And then Tyrion and Tywin are just kind of talking a little bit more about the Red Wedding and how, the Freys would have never even thought about doing anything like that unless they had...
Tyrion kind of put it together that this is a lot of the letters that Tywin was writing.
Yeah, that Tywin was writing throughout the season. He was trying to, get some shit happening between Roose Bolton and the Freys and everything. and he just says how messed up it is, and how like the North is not going to forget.
Yeah.
He's not going to forget this fucking slight, no matter what. Even after like Bolton, because at this point the people in the North don't really care for the Boltons.
They've always been the creepy cousins.
Yeah.
And now they're just like, oh, fuck these people.
Yeah, it's like if your creepy cousin became like leader of your family, and you're like,
no, I'm out.
No, I don't want to deal with that.
I'm gone.
So we head back to the twins, where Walder Frey and Roose Bolton.
Speaking of creepy.
Yeah.
Old and creepy, young and creepy.
Yeah, and
they're younger.
And they're discussing like Rob's faults, and it's kind of interesting how Roose is just walking around. He doesn't drink, by the way. And Walder Frey is up there just drinking and drinking. And then you just see like fucking people in the background just cleaning up the blood.
Just scrubbing the blood.
The blood. Like, oh my god. Like, oh, let's just get back to normalcy after that.
Yeah.
Fucking manhandling.
This giant murder.
So Roose is just talking about how Rob was a prick.
He felt he was a little standoffish too.
Yeah,
he was a prick. He wouldn't take his advice.
None of his advice about flaying people or getting rid of them or anything like that.
Just nothing. Like, he batted Ofer, and he really blamed the kid.
So he's like, whatever, whatever. He's dead, and so Walder Frey.
Of course, know why Walder hated him.
Yeah, and Walder Frey kind of asks, like, oh, so how did you get rid of Theon, and what happened up there? And he's like, oh, I just sent my bastard Ramses to send him. So finally we figure out that the guy who's been torturing Theon, even though we know because we read the books, but you finally find out that he's Bolton's bastard named Ramsay.
His name is Ramsay. Yeah.
And so we cut away to Winterfell, or where the hell they live? Wherever.
The Dreadfort.
The Dreadfort. We cut away to the Dreadfort, and Ramses is eating a big sausage.
Big juicy sausage.
Yeah, and it's kind of like
juicy grilled
because if you
sausage.
remember in the last episode or a few episodes ago, Theon got castrated,
got his wiener off,
which was crazy. And so he's eating the sausage, and Theon's
like, mocking him.
Yeah, and Theon's kind of like, "Just kill me, please kill me." He's like, "No, I'm not gonna kill you. You're too valuable."
I can do something with you.
And so he kind of goes up to him and kind of like. I want to say he cuts him a little bit or something, and he's like, what's your fucking name? He's like, I got a name for you, Reek.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's your fucking name? Theon Greyjoy. He's like, boom, punches him in the face or something. And he's like, what's your name? Theon. Boom, no, what's your name? It's Reek. And he's like, it's Reek. So he's kind of like breaking him right there. And
totally breaking him.
Yeah,
stripping him of his name, his manhood.
Yeah, everything.
He's trying to just make him into ground him into dirt.
Just seeing how fucking sinister this bastard of Bolton really is.
He's fucked up too.
Yeah, he's pretty fucked up.
There's a lot of pretty fucked up people in this story.
Oh yeah. Excellent fucked up people. So we head to where Bran is, and Bran,
they're still on the run to the wall.
Yeah, and they eventually do make it to the wall, right?
They make it to one of the abandoned castles on the wall.
Yeah,
the
Knight's Fort or something like that, I believe.
I think it's called, yeah.
And they're kind of talking about the Rat Cook. And what the Rat Cook is a story about, it's this king and queen. And they have some guests come to their house. But what ends up happening is, I forget how the story goes, something about, it's basically like symbolic of the guest rights of what happened with Rob. It's like, Rob and the phrase, is that they killed them.
They killed and then served a king and queen their own son.
Yeah.
And the story goes that the Rat King was punished forever to live forever as a giant rat. Not because he killed somebody, not because he fed somebody their children.
No.
But because he slaved somebody after offering them guest rights.
Yeah, which basically guest rights is if someone serves you food when you go in there and you lay down your arms.
Then you're saying
you're safe. At least while you're under their roof.
The only thing I would have loved is maybe this happened in like episode 8, that story.
Yeah.
Just to drive home that point. And that's what we see in episode 9.
Yeah.
Drinking and eating the little bread and salt.
Yeah.
It would have been
make more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't really hear too much about that until that point.
Yeah.
And so we were there, and Bran, they hear a noise.
Yep.
And then they find out it's Sam and Gilly who are running away from the White Walkers.
And they're coming up an old well.
Yeah, they're coming up from underneath an old well. And so they meet, and Sam recognizes Bran, I believe.
Well, he recognizes the direwolf first. Because he knew ghosts.
Yeah.
And then he puts 2 and 2 together because he knew Bran had fallen and was crippled.
Mm-hmm. And
so he realizes that it must be Jon Snow's brother.
So then we head over to Pike, where
Yara gets a fancy box.
Yeah, she gets a fancy box from the new Warden of the North, who's Ramsay's Bolton for right now. because I believe
He's Ramsay Snow for right now.
Yeah, Ramsay Snow. But I believe Roose said that he wasn't going to head right back to Winter or wherever right away. Anyway, so we have that, and she opens it up.
Oh, and it's
lo and behold,
it's a severed penis of your brother.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh my God, God, get this out of here!" And then
that's where that guy rolls.
And then of course Balin just looks at it and he's like, "I have no son." And then he throws the penis in the garbage person. And he is. And he's like, "I don't have a son." And she's like, "We gotta fucking get back at these assholes for this." And he's like, "I'm not doing shit." So she's like, "Fine, I'm gonna fucking do this. I'm gonna get my fucking best guys, my fastest ships, and we're going over there." And we're going to rescue that little dickless wonder.
She's going to kick some ass, it sounds like, next season.
Yeah, so she fucking leaves from the Iron Islands to go try to get Theon back. Yeah. Then
that'll be interesting.
I think that's going to be pretty awesome. I can't wait to see more of Yara.
Yeah.
We head back to Bran, who's talking with Sam. They learn of dragon glass.
Yes.
It's like the only thing that can beat White Walkers. So Sam gives them little
a couple arrowheads, a
couple daggers from Mira.
Essentially what he's got left since
he
Brad tells him that they're going beyond the wall.
Yeah, so Sam tells him you should just come with me. He's like, "No, I have to go up north to see the three-eyed crow." So they head up north, and Sam goes on his own way as well.
Yeah.
Now we head back to the prison of Dragonstone, where Davos is in there, and he's talking with Gendry, because if you remember, Gendry was taken captive, and his blood was used to make those leeches.
Yeah, which may or may not be kind of magical.
Which may or may not have killed the
He did want Robb dead.
Killed Robb.
But, really the phrase killed Robb. It's like,
I mean,
kind of like, I wish Pete died and hit by a car. Is it my fault or the guy who hit him?
Yeah. I mean, Robb... he sealed his own fate when he fucked what's-her-name.
A little bit.
Yeah, so what are you going to do? So Davos is there, he's talking with Gendry about,
it's a nice moment, actually. Yeah, I like that.
They're talking about Flea Bottom, because Gendry's like, "Oh, you're just a big lord, you don't know nothing about my troubles." And he's like, "No, I know about your troubles."
Yeah, I started out lowbar, man.
I started out just as shitty as you with, Flea Bottom eating a bowl of brown and all that good stuff. So we head over to King's Landing, where Varys is talking with Shay, who's just kind of like sitting on the shore. But if you look at her, she actually looks like, you remember in the second season, she was all dressed up, and she had regular like horror clothes on, and she got like a little fancier. Like at this point, she's pretty fancy. She's got some really nice shit going on. So Varys kind of gives her this bag of gold, and he says, he's like, take off. He's like, us people, we don't have like a lot of pull in this place, and it's like, if I give you this money, you could go across the sea to Bravo,
and just be happy,
and just have a mansion and have a fucking great time. She said, "No, I'm not leaving." And she was like, "If Tyrion, or she's kind of like knows that Tyrion sent her or something like that to get her away, because now he might even be in more trouble." And what's her name? Shay's not leaving.
No,
basically, which is probably a dumb idea, but who knows? Whatever.
Maybe.
So then we head over to Tyrion and Cersei, and they're in King's Landing. They're having a drink, and Cersei's just kind of saying like, "When is this gonna end?" Like Tyrion and her are talking about like, when is the hate gonna end?
Right.
Like, because she's like, you gotta pull traitors out like weeds. You're gonna rip them out, and it's like, and he's like, then just more weeds are just gonna grow, and it's like a vicious circle and stuff. And she's like, "Yeah, I know." Because he's like, "When's it gonna end?" And she's like, she said something about like, until they're all dead or something.
Yeah.
And then he's like, more people are just gonna rise up in their place.
That's true too. Yeah.
So he's kind of like, they're both kind of feeling hopeless at that point.
Yeah.
About like what the hell's going on, especially because Tyrion had to marry Sansa. She's gonna have to marry somebody too. And
Loras at the moment still. Right?
I believe it was Loras. And then Arya and the Hound, we go over to them, and they're leaving the twins. I'm not exactly sure where they are.
They're just running.
They're just running away, and they hear a bunch of Freys. They overhear these Frey people, and you know how you can tell by who the Freys are. Besides, like, 'cause sometimes it's hard in the show to tell like who's who, but they've been doing a good job of like, if you can't notice like the little thing on the little sigil on their whatever, they're always wearing some sort of different color or whatnot. And like the Freys, if you notice, they're wearing like this hat.
They have like a certain helms and stuff. Yeah, they're trying
to differentiate armors at least, to kind of,
because even though everybody has different colors, everything after a while looks a little dingy.
Especially when you're in battle.
Nobody's going out and buying a brand new cloak every time they get theirs dirty. You're just making do.
So like it's kind of cool. The phrase have like these dog ear kind of things. So they're talking about this one guy's like, yeah, it was hard to cut off the head and then sew it back on. And
essentially bragging on being a part of the
yeah. And he's like, yeah, it was fucking hard. He's like, that scumbag Rob, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then Arya just gets down off the horse. And she's like, oh, can you share some food? And they're like, get lost, boy. And she's like, no, I'm a girl. And they're like, get lost, girl. And she's like, I could pay you. Mm-hmm. And she drops her coin. And then they go to pick it up, and he starts fucking killing all the fucking Freys.
Pretty great.
And then the Hound comes in because Arya almost gets killed at one point, and he just fucking kills it.
He kind of finishes off the rest.
Yeah, and then he's like, fucking you tell me next time you're gonna do something like that. Where the hell did you get that dagger? It's like, I just took it off of you.
Yeah.
You fucking.
That was great because he does the whole like double take, like what? Oh, son of a bitch.
It was fucking great, and just Arya kind of shows how like. And then she picks up the coin. She goes, Vala Magulis, which is great. And she's just kind of, just get in her own way. She kind of got back at this point.
Yeah, she obviously it's not.
I know
by any
means, like she's just, just like at that point.
She's also escalating.
Yeah, like she just started off with one or two people dead at the beginning of the last season, and now it's just picking up. I feel like she's gonna be like a harbinger of death, especially after Melisandre. You remember in that episode, she was like, I see a bunch of faces, dead faces on you and shit like that.
As she says, we'll meet again.
Yeah, we will meet again, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So she kills off the Freys. Then we head over to Jon and Ygritte. Jon was kind of running away. If you remember in the last episode, he was running away from the wildlings.
Caught up to him.
And Ygritte caught up to him, and he's like, listen, you're not going to shoot me.
They have a nice little heartfelt
kind of thing. She's like, why are you leaving? What are you doing? We should just ran away. And he's like, no, I belong to the wall. So he's like, you're not, and then she takes out her arrow and she's about to shoot him. He's like, you're not going to shoot me. And I think, doesn't she say you know nothing, Jon Snow, at that point?
And as he gets on his horse, she says that, and she
just starts a couple arrows. Yeah, and he gets shot in the shoulder and the leg.
I think the shoulder and the leg,
And so he's kind of riding off, and Ygritte just gives like a look like, motherfucker, you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe he's leaving. So we head back to the wall where Sam is telling Maester Aemon about what he saw and what happened. Commander Mormont getting killed, the White Walkers and the Dragon Glass, and everything. And they're gonna need a lot of fucking help.
Yeah.
So Aemon's like, "I'm glad you're back. You know what? We need to start sending letters." So what's happening is they show a scene just from the Castle Black, tons and tons of ravens just leaving because he's like, we have to write all of Westeros and tell them that we need
pleading for help from anyone.
We need help. Any kind of help from anyone would be terrific.
Yeah. And $1 don't care. Just need help.
Yeah. And so we see Davos, and he's he's free. I believe we heard it last season or last episode, but Davos is free, and he's just kind of like sitting in the room with Serene Baratheon, I believe, Stannis' daughter. Yeah. And they're just reading shit, and he just kind of casually picks up the one letter that the Night's Watch took.
It might have been the previous one.
Yeah,
because one of their because they've been calling for help for essentially the last 2 years.
Yeah, and like he's just kind of like reading all these letters, and they're just talking. And he's like, "What's this word?" And then he picks up the Night's Watch thing, and he just looks at it, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
Because you've been learning to read everything.
Yeah. But from the daughter, and so after that, Davos and Stannis both hear Rob's death.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you know what? We need to get more blood or something. We need to sacrifice Gendry. And then that's when Davos is like, I'm gonna rescue this kid. So what he does is he goes and gets Gendry and he puts him on a boat. And he sends him off, and he's like, he
essentially says, "Row that way, get this, and then just hide yourself."
And then he's like, "Have you ever sailed before?" "No, I've never done it." "Oh, great!" And he's like, "Just take him," and he's like, "You guys gotta go that way." And he's like, "Just follow the stars."
And row that way,
And then the last line he says, Gendry's like, "Thank you so much." He's like, "When you get to King's Landing, have a bowl of brown for me." And so he lets him off, and then what ends up happening is let's see, where are we? Davos rescues Gendry, and then we go to Castle Black where Jon he's kind of limped on his horse.
Yeah, he arrives back,
and Sam is pleased as punch as Sam, and
everybody
he gets him, and he takes him, and they go, and he might be dead. Who knows what's gonna go on? And
he got hit twice.
Yeah, especially in like some vital areas.
That was like a little
little like
cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Is Jon gonna be okay for next season? And then we go to King's Landing where Brienne and Jaime finally get there, and Jamie eventually goes to see. I like this. I like the part where Jamie and Brienne both get in there, and Qyburn's there too, and then Jamie just kind of looks at Brienne like, "Can I leave?" And then she kind of gives him a look like, "What the fuck you want? Yeah, whatever you want." Yeah. And then they just kind of show Cersei. I don't know what the fuck she was doing, but she was doing something, and then Jamie just comes
probably something creepy.
Oh yeah, Jamie! Oh my god! And they like hug or whatever, and it was kind of nice.
It'd be really sweet if they weren't brother and sisters that fucked and tried to kill any hero.
Yeah. And it's gonna be kind of interesting next season, personally, because like we haven't seen many scenes with Jamie and Cersei together.
No,
except like
the very beginning of season 1.
Yeah. And so then we go back, and Stannis is pretty pissed off with Davos for letting Gendry go.
He's pretty ticked.
And Davos is like, he's like, you can do what you want with me, but before you do, because they're like, we're gonna fucking kill you. This is it. Because he already got fucked once for coming back and trying thinking about assassinating Melisandre. But now he let go of this one kid who's got King's blood in him. They could have used him. They could have done something, whatever, with the magic fire, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And so he's really pissed off. And so he's like, that's it. Stannis is like, that's it. You're fucking dead. Get him out of here. And then right before he goes, he's like, I'm still King's Hand, right? And he's like, yeah. Well, you got to read this. And then they show him the letter to Castle Black. He reads it. He lets Melisandre read it. And then finally she's looking at the flames. And she's like, this is the war.
Yeah, this is the real fight we should be fighting.
This is the real war we should be fighting. Yeah. We shouldn't be fighting over this War of Five Kings. She just basically says the War of Five Kings is bullshit. Yeah. It's meaningless. And so like they're gonna be there, and then Davos, and she's like, I see Davos in the fire, blah blah blah. And so Stannis is like, okay, you're gonna live.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna live because we're gonna need your help.
And it looks like they might actually help.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can, but
it'd be kind of neat to see what's gonna happen there. So you kind of know, like, okay, we know Stannis. You know, that's the nice little like. That's the personally, I think that's like the biggest like lead into the next season is that part where it's like we're gonna go fucking help the Night's Watch. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know that for sure. Yeah. And then final scene of the show, Dany is welcomed after they're standing at the gate at Yunkai, and then the gates open because she's worried about like, are they gonna come out and free themselves? What the fuck's gonna happen? Right. And so they all come walking out, and she's looking around. And then they just start chanting, what's the word? Mhysa. And they're all chanting, which means mother and whatever. Yeah. Yunkish or whatever. Right. And, basically she gets down off the horse, Selmy and Mormont, like, don't do it. She gets off the horse, and they're all chanting. And then they lift her up, and they're like...
Kind of crowd surfer.
Yeah, kind of crowd surfer. And then it's like... And then the dragons fly around and everything.
And the pan up is the end.
And pan up, and you see all of her army, and you see all these people she's freed, and that's kind of how the ending goes. Is that two? That's two ending of the seasons for her. They ended with
season 1 ended with the dragons, which it should have.
Yeah, hands down.
And season 2 ended with what was it?
Shit, if I remember.
I don't either.
It
was after the Blackwater.
Yeah, ended with like them liberating. I don't remember how season 2 ended.
Sam. Seeing the White Walker.
Oh, yeah.
That was good, too. Yeah. That was really good. That was actually probably the best ending.
Yeah.
And the Dragons was good.
The Dragons was terrific, but then the White Walker took it up another level.
I think so,
yeah. Because you're like, what the fuck?
This, compared to those two, is actually kind of a deflating
I felt like, oh, man, but, because there's so much other good stuff that's going down, but I understand why they ended it.
Yeah, maybe they felt that was the best wrap-up.
Yeah, because you know what? If they did that whole thing, they couldn't, like, let's say they... Because I could totally see the Stannis thing being the last thing. But if they flip those two, I feel like it wouldn't flow as well.
Maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. Yeah.
But
probably because it was only Dany seeing the whole
only
show too.
Yeah.
So it kind of had to be first or last. Yeah. You're right. Otherwise, it would ruin the flow. Maybe.
Yeah. She'll have more in the next season.
Yeah.
So, Rob, let's talk about anything that you liked or disliked about this episode.
They do a good job of wrapping up the episode, the year, with these things. They do a good job of the wrap-up / set up next year.
Yeah.
So it's good. So, like, we even know now, what exactly compelled the Boltons and the Freys to do it. And we already knew the Freys. We got to hear Bolton's side. Mm-hmm. We know for a fact that Tywin is behind it, too.
Yeah.
So we know the 3 guys who planned it. Mm-hmm. And we know Bolton's been rewarded with the North.
I know.
So... We know some things are going to happen, so we assuming Bolton's going to go to the North, but to see what happens there. Mm-hmm. you got to think somebody, I don't know who, is going to try to get some revenge with Frey. You think.
Yeah, you gotta, hopefully.
You know, like Arya, small scale did, but you think somebody's going to have to. We don't know who it's going to be.
And I know a lot of people are super disappointed about the Red Wedding, but please, like my aunt, she's been watching the show, and she's like, I don't want to watch it anymore. Please.
Stick with it.
Stick with it, because the next season is going to be almost as unforgettable as this one. Trust me on that.
Next season, so seriously, stick with it. Because another 4 main characters are going to die.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that right now. Spoiler alert. 4. 4. Another 2 secondary characters.
Yeah.
That mean big things.
Yeah.
So it's fucking worth it. Stay with it. So much good shit is going to happen, I promise.
I'll tell you, justice will be served a bit.
Shit gets crazy, too.
Shit does get more crazy.
Shit gets crazy.
You thought shit was crazy after the Red Wedding. It's going to get crazier. Shit. And someone else is going to get crazier next season.
Yeah.
That shit crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be terrific.
Yeah. So, Rob, let's talk about if this episode true to the book. I think so.
Fair enough. Yeah.
The only thing I'd have to say that, like, Sam, the one little thing, I don't give a fuck about it, but I'm just going to mention it. Sam doesn't really make it to the wall until the end of book 3 or something like that. Like, this season is only the first half of book 3. Mm-hmm. The next season will be the second half of book 3.
Right.
Sam doesn't make it to
the end of the wall. I think John beats Sam to the wall.
Yeah,
that's what it is. I mean, it's very slow.
It doesn't matter, because I think Sam, with the events that's going to happen at the wall, is going to be fine there. So that's fine. Anything else? I mean, because you just recently finished the 3rd book. You might remember something.
No, not really. Even if it was stuff that was covered in other chapters.
I like the fact that, like, from the book, like, again, we talk about this a lot, point of view characters, you know, you don't really get to see what Bolton was talking about, like with Walder Frey, about that whole thing. Right, because
neither of those guys are point of view characters.
Yeah, so it's great to hear their side of the story, like why, like they might, an insight of why they might have done it, you know what I mean? Yeah, and so let's talk about best line, best kill.
The best kill to me is because she's one of my favorite characters, Arya just going nuts.
Yeah.
Arya, like, almost changes a little bit there.
Mm-hmm. I think she ends up getting a little more. Yeah, I think she ends up getting a wee bit more deadlier.
Yeah.
And just because she knows how to kill now, it's just like, you know how that first kill is like...
Not even the fact that she knows how to do it, she doesn't mind it, obviously.
And, like, the instance that, like, you know how your first kill is like, oh my god, like, when she killed the guy in the very beginning with the stable boy?
Yeah, she was freaked out.
Yeah, and now she's not.
Now she doesn't give two shits.
No. And obviously, if he's going to take the Frey guys, I'll take the Stark guys, even though I don't really want to. Like, in the beginning of this episode, they're just getting killed.
Those really deaths.
Yeah. They're just getting killed, and I guess that would be the best, although I don't like it. But I don't think anyone likes it. I don't think anyone, like, hates the Starks. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, and it's just like...
They're not without some faults, some of them. Yeah, they're not bad, but they're not... They're the best of the shit we got.
Yeah, and then it's just to see them all get killed, it's, like, unbelievable.
Fucking sucks.
So, Rob, what would you say your best line is? Because I got a bunch of them written down.
You do. My favorite line is probably Bolton and Frey are talking, and they're talking
about the young king.
I think Frey raises a glass to the young wolf.
Yeah, because he's
and
like...
Bolton just responds, "Forever young."
Yeah, great line.
And he's a creep, and he just delivers it well. It's a good job.
Yeah, and...
I'd say that, because that was nice.
I think my favorite line is probably from Tywin.
Yes.
When he's talking to Joffrey, when Joffrey's just screaming, I'm king! I'm king! You can't make me do anything! I'm king!
Essentially having a tantrum.
Yeah, he's just basically having a tantrum. And Tywin again, straight face. I love Charles Dance.
I know.
Boom. Straight face. And he's like, any man who says, I am the king is no true king. And it just fucking puts him right in his stupid little face. Right in his stupid little place. Yeah. And he's like, you go to bed without supper, basically.
Send him to bed.
Yeah, and they just fucking say, I'm not tired. Get his ass to bed, Cersei.
It was almost literally a 6-year-old having a temper tantrum.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, fine, you can't talk to me, you're going to bed.
Yeah, and then we have a couple other great lines, too, that I just wrote down. One from Stannis, where he's talking with Davos at the very end, and he's like, you see, Sir Davos, you've been saved by that fire god you'd like to mock. You're in his army now, which I think was very good.
Yeah.
And then the Hound with his, with Arya when she killed the guy.
Yeah, tell me you're gonna do that next time.
Yeah, next time you do that, tell me.
That whole scene was really good.
Yeah, because I love
because it had their weird little. Is he gonna fuck with her somehow? Like sell her, kill her, whatever he's gonna do. Then it had Arya going nuts. Then it even had a little semi joke with the whole. Where'd you get that dagger? Oh, it's yours. What the?
See, the thing I feel like with the Hound is like, sure, in the beginning of the season, or the beginning of the whole series, you probably don't like him. No. But at this point, he's a very likable character. I like him a lot.
He's really only done one thing that was fucked up.
Yeah.
And it was in season 1, like
where
you
said killed
earlier,
Mhysa.
Where he kills the little boy that Joffrey complains was beating up on him.
Yeah.
And really, that's about it, because he was always nice to Sansa.
Yeah.
He even defended Sir Loras against the Mountain.
Yeah, and he told Sansa, like, just fucking do what he wants, or he's gonna beat you.
Yep.
He was going to save Sansa.
Yeah, he fought bravely in the Blackwater until he decided it was too much fucking fire.
Yeah, and then he took Arya, and he just didn't say, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
No,
he tried to get her.
He didn't ransom her, but
like at one point, you know what? He just take her and say, "Fuck you, get out of here." But he doesn't. No. That's why I think, like, I don't know. I think Hound's great.
I think he's got a nice evolution.
Yeah. And then you have another line. Everyone is mine to torment by Joffrey. I don't remember where he says that.
I think it is.
When he's
when he's complaining he's gonna fuck with Sansa.
Yeah.
My wife now.
Yeah,
yours to torment.
Okay.
And I'm king. I'm everybody's mine to torment. Yeah, and it's like, all right.
Yeah.
I think it's another instance when Tywin just looks at him and goes, you know what, you're
Jesus Christ, I can't believe you're fucking whatever.
Oh, well, actually,
technically he's a Baratheon, but whatever.
No, technically he's a Devil Lannister.
Yeah. Well, you know what the thing is about that? Do you think at this point Tywin knows? Tywin knows that fucking
I don't know. I think he at least suspects.
I think he does. I think he's in denial.
Okay.
100% denial.
He could be.
And then the final line is the Northerners will never forget what Tyrion talking to Tywin and how they won't.
It's very foreboding.
Yeah, and the West, and you know what? Just in general, Westeros probably won't forget that the Freys are pieces of shit.
Yeah, I don't think anybody anywhere would ever trust the Freys at this point. Even if you were Bolton or the Lannisters, why would you?
No, I wouldn't.
Because that's pretty fucked.
Yeah. So I think this season. This final episode was very good. Once again, it did kind of on a deflating note. I mean, you kind of wish to see something more exciting at the end.
That's all right.
Kind of like, next season's going to be sweet, but it's still going to be
But they did a good job of setting up.
Yeah.
So, where the Bolton's going to try to take over the North. Mm-hmm. Yara's going to try to stop them.
Yeah.
Apparently.
We're going to see
Stannis is going to head to the North also. The North might get busy next season. Mm-hmm. King's Landing is always some fucking shit going on.
Yeah. You got
Dany's gonna, I don't know what she's doing. She just keeps collecting people and armies, and she keeps marching, farther and farther.
Yeah.
Tywin's gonna have something up his sleeve.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So Joffrey's gonna get married next year.
Oh,
I think.
Yeah, Joffrey's getting married.
Unless they hold up another season, but I don't think so.
No way.
It'll happen next season.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's
there's some shit going on. Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of shit happening, and again,
we meet a couple new good characters.
Yeah. Excellent characters.
Yep.
And again, if you're
on the fence or worried about it, fucking stick with it.
Please just stick with it.
Yeah.
Stick with it. I can't say the same thing about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet. But I will say this about Game of Thrones.
Stick with it.
Stick with it.
Yeah, the next season's gonna be probably as good.
Equally maybe amazing, even better.
Maybe even better. Yeah.
Yeah. So this has been Pete or Kenshin 1913.
And Rob or Your New Dad.
And we will see you in the next Game of Thrones episode.
You'll see us. We can't see you back.
No.
Unless you leave a video response, which may not be possible.